Unemployment and inflation is a major problem that every country in the world has faced, and Malaysia is not an exception. Even though the rate of unemployment and inflation is quite low, but when it is converted into numbers, it is actually reach hundred thousands or even millions, which is actually quite high. Well, there are various factors that lead to unemployment and inflation, which are bankruptcy of the company, getting fired because of the bad attitude or bad performance, the contract is expired or doesn't get renewed, and much more. But the government in every country has made debates about it and tried to make a countermeasure for the problem to prevent the increase of unemployment rate, but to increase more work opportunities that needed human labor in the workforce. So by doing so, the government goal is to increase the production of every sector in the economy while increasing the money value of the country, which actually improve the performance of the country itself. Okay, so there will be more explanation which about the unemployment and inflation in details in the next videos.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm MOHAMMAD KHAIREE bin AZWARDI from BA1173. So today I'm gonna tell you guys about what I analyze the current problem of macroeconomic. All nations to different degrees wrestle with issue of joblessness, work quality and working neediness caused by change in innovation and work advertised that present new opportunity, particularly for gifted youthful laborer, however, which additionally extensively increase vulnerability and frailty around the world. The joblessness base of youth characterized as 15 to 24 years old of age was floated at around 13% of a lad around multiple time that for grown-ups matched 25 to 64 years old. Southeast Asia and the Pacific countries with youth joblessness averaging 12% perceive a little better in outright terms. However, more awful in relative term, youth joblessness is just about multiple times that of grown-ups. Malaysia look like a local example, enrolling youth joblessness of 10.5% in 2019, which is in excess of multi times that grow-up pace of 1.7%. The proportion of youth joblessness to the public normal has been ascending over the previous decade. The financial aftermath from the coronavirus pandemic will probably hurt youthful laborers all the more harshly. This point of view, the first of two on the business circumstance of Malaysia's childhood unloads pattern in workforce support and joblessness, giving look into different aspects of youth pressure into the work market and the result of the mission for profession and pay. To start with, schooling highlight remarkable in 2018, 45% of youthful Malaysian, half of ladies and 45% of men are graduates with tertiary level qualification. Joblessness in the Bumiputra populace, who established 66% of the Malaysian populace, however different classification, immediately the Indian workforce and Sabah and Northern Peninsula Malaysia state are affected in manners justifying further examination and strategy consideration. Malaysia childhood joblessness inconceivably surpasses the other age gathering. In 2019, joblessness rate are 14.4% for 15 to long-term olds and 9.5 for 20 long-term olds, dropping to the 3.8 and under 2% for any remaining age gathering. The degrees of youth joblessness and the wide just comparative with the rest underscore the earnestness of the issue. Sex and geographic variables uncover other significant part of joblessness. Male and female joblessness rates are strikingly comparable beside among youth, where we can notice an obvious sexual orientation hole in the 20 to 24 age gathering. Particularly, 80% of Malaysian workforce is metropolitan. Somewhat surprising, the 76% urbanization pace of the nation populace. Youth joblessness change among metropolitan and rustic regions. Patterns are less clear among 15 to long-term old, yet in the 20 to 24 age section, country joblessness has been on a decrease, reflected by rising joblessness in metropolitan regions. This example hold for the two people, grouping the workforce by state in light of pay level and geographic area. A couple of examples. In Sabah, at 40% traded by the noted peninsula condition of Kedah, Kelantan, Perak and Perlis at 11%. Strangely, in Peninsula Southern State and Penang, gathered because of monetary likenesses, registered the most reduced joblessness rates, averaging about 8%. In different areas, including the financial core of Selangor and Kuala Lumpur, drift at 10%. So, this affect the all production.
Hello, my name is Farid Akmal from BA1173A1, and today I'm going to talk about problem and method to overcome inflation and unemployment in Malaysia. Problems of inflation and unemployment. Unemployment is a significant issue for each nation, particularly agriculture nature with a gigantic population. High joblessness or high unemployment implies that work assets are not being utilized effectively. In result, full work ought to be a significant macroeconomics objective of government. This basic issue frequently being remembered for the public authority strategy or plan for parliament debate and conversation and seemingly endless amount of time after year. After an extensive stretch of conversation and discussion, it appears to be no extreme arrangement has been found to totally cure unemployment. According to study, practically 47% of independently employed laborers had lost their position. Around 19,677 respondents concerning the individual who had occupation. 35.5% announced a diminishing in pay over 90% on the off chance that the rate is taken on a genuine scale. This implies that out of 2.86 million independently employed specialists, 1.34 million laborers have lost their position, and right around 540,000 encountered a 90% decrease in pay. By the definition, the independently employed gathering includes ranchers, producer, anglers, and the individual who have their own organization without recruiting laborers. The expansion in unemployment will, in a roundabout way, to focus on the public authority and Bank Negara to restore the economy, regardless of whether by giving pay to influence laborers or by persuading bosses to keep their workers until this pandemic is completely relieved. Rahma referenced that one of the variables that adds to the unemployment issue among the Malaysian graduates is the nature of the graduate. There are bosses in business who give negative remarks on the graduates and reference that the graduates don't have the reasonable abilities and capabilities which address the issues of the business. Also, the graduates are feeble in the part of employability abilities and don't show a decent working exhibition. An investigation directed by the Central Bank of Malaysia in 2002 additionally found that the Malaysian graduates are less talented when contrasted with the global graduates. The abilities incorporate specialized aptitudes, critical thinking abilities and rational abilities, particularly in English language. The reason for inflation is because of a few current components happen to the world. It additionally been caused by the inside factor that help deteriorate the circumstances. The principal factor on the ground that the expansion of raw petroleum costs. It tainted nation gas costs to increment. Two, on the ground that administration can't stand the appropriation increment. Current cost of the unrefined petroleum has increment to USD 150 a barrel. That caused Malaysia to confront 7.7% in expansion in June and increment again on July to 8.5%. The argumentation of the common asset cost has incremented the cost of nearby gas to 2.7 ringgit per litre before from 1.92 ringgit. It's been trailed by the expansion of the neighbourhood merchandise, for example cooking, oil, flour, rice and other in that year. The nearby broker had taken preferences to build the cost of goods because of the explanation of oil cost increase. The estimation of ringgit has turned down and bring down its worth due to neighbourhood dealers by act. By incrementing the cost of goods, the worth that beforehand can purchase great certain amount has goes down that simply by a similar decent yet in less amount than previously. Methods to overcome the problem. First is the fiscal policy. Fiscal policy can diminish unemployment by assisting with expanding total interest and the pace of financial development. The government should seek after expansionary fiscal policy. This includes curtailing government expenditures and expanding government spending, lower charges, increment extra cash. For example, tax slice to 15% in 2008, and along this line help to expand utilization, prompting higher total interest. With an expansion in AD, there will be expansion in real GDP as long as there is an extra limit in the economy. If firm produce more, there will be an expansion sought after for laborers and consequently lower requests, lacking joblessness, unemployment. Likewise, with higher total interest and solid financial development, less firm will fail, meaning less occupation misfortune. Keynes was functioning promoter of expansionary fiscal policy during a downturn. He contended that in a downturn asset, both capital and work are in it. In this way, the public authority ought to mediate and encourage extra interest to lessen unemployment rate. The second is monetary policy. Central banks use contractionary monetary policy to reduce inflation. They lessen the cash supply by confining the volume of cash bank can loan. The bank charge higher financing costs, making advances more costly, less organization, and people get easing back growth. Central bank use expansionary monetary policy to bring down joblessness and keep away from a downturn. They increment liquidity by giving bank more cash to loan. Bank lower financing costs, making credit less expensive. Organization get more to purchase gear, enlist a representative, and grow their activities. People acquire more to purchase more homes, vehicles, and appliances. That builds requests and spikes financial development.
Hello, my name is Kieran Hope Henry, and I will be doing the conclusion for this video. To wrap this all up in a neatly tied bow, with the increase of unemployment rate around the world and Malaysia being no exception, the fall in employment rate will surely cause general imperativeness in the economy and occupations offered. And the disengagement between the workforce and high unemployment rate means that work assets are not distributed efficiently. To add salt to our gaping, bleeding wound, we are now introduced to COVID-19 that will surely and hugely impact the youth laborers more. To overcome this predicament, we would either use fiscal policy to diminish the unemployment by helping the expanding overall interest and pace the financial development, and or monetary policy by having central banks use contractionary monetary policies to reduce inflation. Thank you.